Hello, you're watching Cal67 Gaming and another tick round of the calendar.
Yeah, going a
Means
bit too quickly this time, aren't they?
definitely means that it's time for
Another
August's.
month in games.
So with August coming and going,
Doesn't feel as if it should have, I'll be honest.
well, you say that, but I'm not being funny. We did a lot in August. Not much of it video game related, I have to say.
No.
But being August, went away for a while. I don't know how much time I've spent just out with friends instead of playing video games. So this is probably the lightest month in games that I'm ever going to have done. And I don't think that you took your Switch away, so you did play a little bit.
Yeah, but I didn't play as much of it as probably presumed because I went about, isn't it?
Aye, that's very true. So this may be a shorter video than usually we do. Don't know if that's actually a bad thing, because sometimes these ones do stretch on for a little bit. Guess it depends how much we waffle.
Yeah.
But we should probably just
Start with what we always do.
well, first of all, the other thing that we need to mention is we did was it last month's in games, we mentioned that we had hit 150 subscribers. We've actually got another subscriber. We're up to 151 now. We're really flying now. But we've done a little bit of a giveaway, which we still haven't decided what we're actually giving away.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have decided by the time this actually goes out.
But at the end of the video, we'll there's like an app that randomly selects someone. So the people who did leave a message up to the beginning of August, we said, didn't we?
Something like that.
We'll put them all in this name generator app thing, picker, name picker, whatever it is, and you'll see that at the end. We haven't actually done it, so we don't know who's won. By the end of the video, we'll do that and go from there. But we'll start where we always start, with the games that we actually pick for each other, and I picked you what's supposed to be an absolute belter of a game.
You did.
Was it? And what was it?
Well, for the original Xbox, you picked for me what is presumably one of the best hidden gems on the console, being Chronicles Erotic, Escape from Butcher Bay.
So how did you get on with this then? Is it as good as it's supposed to be?
Well, it's enjoyable at times. I didn't get overly far into it. I did do a decent amount.
I mean, watching this, what I did notice about it straight away is actually graphically it's quite impressive, considering this is an OG Xbox
Yeah,
game.
it looks more around the 360,
Like
early 360.
early 360, like exactly, like one of the like Fable 2 or something like
Yeah,
that.
like early 360 graphics ish. So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously got the different combats and everything. Like, there's an entire section where you just have to do like fighting to get to progress. You've got your stealth bits, you've got your shooting bits and stuff like that, and they all work quite well mechanically.
Do they work together though?
Well, it depends, because they don't put them all together at one time as well.
Alright.
They kind of separate them in a way. So like with the fighting section, that's enough to you getting like to the next place, which I believe was like you're trying to escape or something. Which then you had a bit more action shooter-ish bits to try and escape where you were there. Like say the stealth bits, so you get an upgrade.
Is that you activating these dodgy eyes?
Yeah, it's like night vision eyes, which you get like part way through the game in the form of some goggles.
Because I've seen one of the films, I can't remember which
I haven't
one
seen any of them.
And he had night vision eyes, didn't he?
Yeah, like you get them part way through the game. It obviously helps with the darker sections.
They're not an accessory. It's like his real eyes.
Yeah, but he covers them up with goggles, doesn't he, after that
Oh, he's
as well?
goggles super glued to his head. Got it.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know, because you obviously start them off without them, and then as soon as he gets them, he just thinks, have to put some goggles on here. But it's also a thing because if you're in quite a light section of the game, it will blind you. It's as if a flashbang and everything's went off.
That seems like a reasonable mechanic.
It does, but obviously makes stealthing a bit better. At the moment, obviously, I don't have a proper gun. I've got more of like a stun gun, but
you'll get a better one.
Doesn't work on some of the enemies as seen.
So come on then. What was it like? It looked good.
It played well. I can't lie. Obviously, said it looked good. Looked like quite an early 360 game, which for the original Xbox is actually quite good.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
I think what's been said, obviously, with it having got like the good mechanics is actually quite true. The shooting elements are quite well. The stealth's done quite well. Like, you don't get spotted.
Is there much like puzzle solving and all that kind of game?
From what I played, I can't remember there being tons. I remember there was like elements where you had to go item fetching to progress. Like, there was one bit where you had to get a valve and like the tunnels filled like these things, like enemies that were constantly shoot away and everything, and you had to get the valve, attach it, and then the gate would open for you. There was kind of things where you'd have to go and speak to all the different people as well during your time so that you could progress through there. But no, overall mechanically it's very sound. Works well because they don't try and throw it all together all in one different thing. They kind of break it up into different sections, giving each section like different mechanics, as well as with some of the stealth sections you don't have to like stealth either.
I just think sometimes when you get game like that, when they try and put too much in, it's like nothing works as well as it should. But from what I've heard of this one and the way you're talking about it, it seems like everything does just come together.
It does work because they've actually took the time to make it work. From the sound, from like the looks of it, and how obviously
it seems a weird film franchise to get a game for, because it's. I mean, I think did they make 3, maybe 4 of these films, but none of them done particularly well.
I don't know. We don't know, but what I do know is that the gameplay as well looks good, and to be fair, I'd agree it's quite a good game.
Yeah, fair enough. Gonna finish it.
Hopefully, with that back catalogue. Constantly going and everything.
There's always a big back catalogue, isn't
there? So it'll go in there. They'll hopefully at some point get the treatment to get picked out and finished at some point.
Make sure
whenever that may be, don't know.
Yeah, so. Make sure you do. So that was what I picked for you, and what did you pick for me?
Well, for you, I chose a game that you had personally picked up because you wanted to play it when Word went to Neg. So for you, I chose a on the PS1, being Shadow Man.
You did. And this is Shadow Man. Do you know, it's not really what I expected. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's decent enough, but there's just it's an Acclaim game. Now, you probably don't really recognise Acclaim much because I think they went bust way back when, probably before you were born. And they always got good licenses, they had good ideas for games, and it was just like little things that let all the games down, and this is absolutely no different. Controls are really, really clunky. At times, when you're going through it, it's like it's not about how well you play. It is just pure trial and error, which is not great. But I did a bit convoluted, but the whole premise of the story is all right. You can see I'm not very good at this jumping mechanic here. It's one of them where it's like, do I have to be pixel perfect? And of course, yes, you do have to be pixel perfect. And these things that you shoot, I don't know exactly what they do, but there you go. You get some kind of, I'm guessing some kind of boost because you get like an extra thing on your HUD there. But yeah, decent but flawed.
Yeah.
So I kind of touched on it there. This is absolutely classic Acclaim. Good ideas, not really so well executed. Um, the third person exploration, and like you said, there's like the jump into platforms and there's like shimmying along crevices. And I really wanted it to be Tomb Raider. It just wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. Control. I mean, Tomb Raider's controls are not brilliant tank controls, but just nowhere near as clunky as this. The animation's a bit.
Iffy at times
Aye.
from the looks of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you grab a ledge, but you're not actually grabbing the ledge. Because it doesn't look like it's been designed the same way. Again, I'm going back to Tomb Raider, where Tomb Raider was all designed as blocks, so every handhold was right and it looked right. But it's like they haven't really done that.
The one thing that I wonder is if it's because it's the PS1 version. Because there is a Dreamcast version.
There is a
isn't
Dreamcast version.
So I wonder if that one would play better, like mechanically.
I'm going to guess not. I think it's fundamentals with the game. So it's like all the ports are going to have the same fundamental problems, I'd have thought. But like I say, there's some good ideas in there. Although the story itself, I think this is a license for some obscure comic or something like that. So I guess if you're into it, you really get it straight away.
Well, and you can overlook some of the things on it.
But the story was so convoluted. It's like you started off with in the sewers of London with Jack the Ripper meeting some demon, and then he kills himself, and then you flash to modern day when you're some kind of zombie with a voodoo witch.
I'm not going to question it.
That is what it is. I'm sure if you get it, you get it. To me, it was a little bit convoluted, and it was like I didn't get it straight away, and I'm like,
well, potentially had it been a better gameplay wise, could have overlooked the obscure and hard to get story.
But yeah, I mean, it's alright. It's worth trying, but it doesn't hold up particularly well. And I know a lot of people, I'm going back to Tomb Raider again, don't think Tomb Raider on the PS1 holds up particularly well. This is worse. Like far worse. But like I say, worth playing, and if it's, like I say, I'm sure it's like a licensed comic or something like that. And if you understand the lore of it, I'm sure that it's something that you'll get something out of. But yeah, it wasn't the game that I wanted it to be.
Which is totally understandable. Sometimes you find
so maybe that's on me. I didn't enjoy it because I expected it to be better than it.
Yeah, potentially because the expectations you put on.
Probably.
Maybe like if you forget about it for a while, you think and then you want to play it again. Maybe without having that expectations, it could be better.
We'll see.
Don't know.
But that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to play it again. 2 reasons. Clunky controls, and I couldn't really get a good flow with it. I played it for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 hours, something like that. And it felt like I'd played it for that long.
Which is never a good thing in a game, let's be honest. I think the only time you want that to happen is when you're playing an RPG.
Oh, possibly, aye.
Because you know they're massive time sinks. So at least then you've got a gauge of how much longer have I got in an RPG, but not when it's in like an action adventure-ish game, yeah. Which makes sense.
So what else did you play then?
Well, for me, I went and played the sequel to a game which I quite thoroughly enjoyed in a previous month in games, and I went and played Danganronpa 2.
You played the first one, didn't you?
Well, I completed the first one, and I remember having started the second one, which is obviously this one, but I never finished it. I think I put a few hours into it, but not a lot of them. So I thought, might as well go back and finish it off. So, because
So
obviously,
that's what you've done.
so I went and done it, and obviously these games take a decent amount of time to complete as well. So
I know that like you really enjoy playing them, but I have to say, it's not a spectator sport, is it?
no, it is not. It's one of those things where obviously you play it more for the story and everything. And it's more just for like obviously personal enjoyment and everything.
So long as you like
So-
it, I guess.
Yeah. But no, I quite like the second one. Personally, I wouldn't say it was better than the first one, but it's still a good game to go through. And obviously still takes.
It's one of these that, like you're into it, so you're just into it. But I don't know. Probably because I've never played it. I'm just watching it. I just don't get it.
It's
I've
probably one
never
of the things.
never been a visual novel type of person.
Well, never had that, but I played the first one and quite enjoyed it, and started to quite enjoy it. So it was one of those things, I guess. But no, and they take quite a long time as well. I think about 30 hours or so.
Well, aye, the day. But I guess I mean there must be something in it because you played through a couple now, haven't you?
Yeah, just good games with good stories.
And of course it's the same anime style.
Yeah, it's got the same art style and everything.
So there we go, another lot of exciting gameplay.
Yes, more exciting gameplay from the Danganronpa series. It's a visual novel with obviously the murder mystery mechanics of who done it and everything. You know what you're getting into if you played the first one.
Murder mystery, you say? Is it like what do you call them? Ace Attorney.
Phoenix Wright. Don't know, I've never played Phoenix Wright.
Oh, that is something that we may have to change. But anyway,
I've never played Phoenix Wright, so I can't really compare it accurately.
Right, okay.
I don't even think I've ever seen it being played, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something, isn't it? No, so I can't give it a fair comparison to Phoenix Wright.
Is it? But it's a standalone game. You must like it because you played the first one and you wouldn't have done the second.
Yeah, it's really enjoyable.
Or was it just because it was a game you had on your Switch and when we went away you took your Switch with you?
No, because I've completed it before I went away, I believe, or it was fairly close.
All right. Okay.
So no, I really enjoy the series, and it's one of those things where it's got an enjoyable story, which you can get into quite quickly. I get visual novels on for everyone. Initially, I didn't think it would be for me when I played the first one. Realised that I quite liked it, so obviously getting back on the second one, that I think I've done. When I started it, I think I've done the first or second class trial. I never got past that because I just stopped for some reason. Obviously, new shiny things coming out and everything, so played them. But went back, completed it. Another 30-hour journey in there somewhere. Don't know why they're so long. Probably because of obviously being visual novel, they're typically longer games. But it's also one of those things where it's a good story and then it just gets over the top at the end.
Well, it's Japanese, isn't it?
Well,
They do that a lot.
well, at least for the first one, it's not too over the top. This one was. It kind of put you're in a virtual reality simulation game over your head on you for no reason at all. And also, you were playing like the big bad evil this entire time.
All right.
But because you're in a virtual reality space, you don't know it until the end. And you have to
That
battle
sounded
it.
like a spoiler.
The game's been out for ages. I hate to tell you, these games have been out for ages. The only reason why they got re-released on the Switch was because they had like an anniversary.
The people who buy the release might not have played it originally. Maybe we should start warning when you're going to give a spoiler. Can we do that?
Sure. But no, it got weird. But no, and to be fair, when you start the game, there's a character which you actually also know if you played the first one though.
Well, I should hope so. I should hope there's a little bit of content. Although I guess I like the Final Fantasies and Very sure they haven't got any continuity at all.
Well, there's one character that's in it at the very beginning who was from the last one.
Yeah.
Except they've gained about £200 for some reason.
Fair enough.
Doesn't even get explained.
Is it the same character or is it just a character with the same name, like Sid from Final Fantasy?
No, it's meant to be the exact same character, at least the start. So, yeah, same name, same
everything.
pretty much everything apart from weight. But no, very good game. I recommend it to anyone really.
Well, before I say what the next game I played is, I think we have to segue into another little bit here because we haven't done much video game wise. We haven't really, we haven't got anything to do a decent pickups video
just
with.
a break really.
But while we were away, we did pick up a game. So this is a pickup. This is what I've played. This is Project Gotham Racing 4. You can see that this is not the re-release platinum. It's greatest. It's whatever the hell it is. This is the one I want. It actually cost me twice as much to get this version of it. But
To be fair though, for a nice copy of the actual full-on one instead of platinum, it's kind of worth it in a way.
Well, possibly.
Because you're not guaranteed to get it at the price that you're wanting it for in that condition, in that version.
But that's our only pickup of the month, so this can double up as our pickups video. And I played PGR4. So we finally got this game. I don't know why we never had PGR4 in our collection anyway.
Yeah, it's strange because it's a good racer, and we're both quite like racing games. So
Aye, and you know, like having all the Forzas and the Forza Horizons and Gran Turismos and all the rest of it, you think, actually, do you know, I quite like an arcade racer. Well, you know that I love Outrun, and I think we both love Sega Rally and things like that. So
I just like good racing games that have quite good mechanics, really. It doesn't matter if they're arcade simulation as long as they're enjoyable to play for me.
But for some reason we just never ever picked this one up.
We had some of the other Project Gotham Racings, but just not this particular one.
The other thing is obviously the one that you see all the time in your CEXs and what have you.
It's on the original Xbox, isn't it? It's
no, I'm talking about this one, PGR4. It's the
platinum one.
The classic hits or whatever it is.
Platinum.
And I wanted nothing to do with that one because I actually do like the first run because they just look nicer on the shelf.
In unison.
So we were away and we did spot it, and it was twice the price of CEX, but it was the version of the game that I wanted. So you know,
in good condition as well. So.
Well, yeah, there was that. And yeah, obviously got it. I wanted to have a go at it, and I've played a lot of it. For all, I haven't played an awful lot of games this month. What gaming time I have had there's a lot of it's been this.
But I also quite like the fact that you can use bikes in this game as well.
Aye.
With your Forzas you don't.
And because it's arcade, it's not like the likes of Ride and games like that, where every time you take a corner you fall off. That just annoys the hell out of me. I just want Hang On. Hang On was awesome. So I don't think I'm going to speak too long about this game because I think I'm probably the only person in the world that hadn't played it.
I mean, even I had played it before you. Come on, and you typically play more racing games than me.
But yeah, I mean, like we said, they're a good, solid arcade racer. It's not Outrun. It's not Sega Rally. But you know what?
It's still fun.
It's good, aye. And I mentioned there that like I have learned like over this generation and like the previous generation, the Xbox One, PS4, to avoid motorbike games because they're not fun. Because you take a corner and you fall. I don't want to fall. I want Hang On and I want Road Rash. And do you know what? This kind of was a bit of that.
Yeah, the bike. Like when you're on the bike, it's actually quite fun.
Aye.
I think the only thing is if you take the corner a bit too quickly,
Well,
you go smashing off.
aye, exactly.
There is
And-
times where you can lose your balance as well, but I guess.
I bet it's more forgiving, being an arcade title, I guess. But it's not.
It's a bit annoying though when a car comes and smashes you in the back when you're on the bike when
Aye.
you go flying.
And if I'm honest, I still prefer playing the cars. Because I just do.
Yeah, understandable. Everyone's got their preferences, and so makes sense.
But yeah. So I played that. It's just, like I say, a really solid arcade racer that I'm sure everyone that's watching's played. It was just me that I don't even know why I didn't have it. Because I had other PGR games.
Yeah, like the original Xbox and that.
But
But
there
for
you
being
go.
exclusive, it's
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Usually the exclusives are the ones that I like getting as well, because what's the point in having
The console.
all the consoles if you just get the same games on them all? But yeah, there you go.
At least you finally got it and you finally played it.
Yeah.
So
But surprisingly, after 2 games, that's everything that I played for any length of time this month. I mean, I did play some other things, but not not sufficiently enough to warrant a mention here just yet. Maybe next month.
No.
Did you play anything else though?
I played one more game.
One more game.
Another massive time sink because, is a fact, the third title in the Danganronpa series. I did go ahead and play Danganronpa V3. It's called because it's not just Danganronpa 3. It's V3. So
Let's get to some more exciting gameplay. Well, we really went for it this month, didn't we?
yeah. But
So this is the third one.
this is the third one, and this one felt a lot more like the first one in comparison to the second one, mainly just because of like where the actual game takes place.
I have to say they all look the same to me.
No, they all look the same, but it's like
This one seems to have a slightly different graphical style though. I mean, it's anime, but it doesn't seem to be the same.
the sprites are the same. It's just the actual like thing for like interactions and stuff isn't the exact same and everything. They obviously changed a few things up with it. They went back to a school setting as well in this one.
I see. I was thinking more along the lines of like the second one that you played this month looked a little bit Pokemon, where this looks a little bit more Legend of the Overfiend.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No,
No,
not really.
because you don't watch manga, do you? But,
I do at times. Don't stop. But no.
there's some creepy looking bears there.
Well, in this one they introduced Monokuma's kids, which are just like smaller versions of him. I think there was a few in the slight spin-off game as well. That was on like PS Vita and that. But no, I did really enjoy this one. I would say that I actually enjoyed it more than the second one as well. Just my personal opinion. But no, it was actually quite a good one.
Yeah, once again, it's a lot of reading.
Yeah.
It's not a spectator sport, but I guess you get into it,
Yeah,
don't you?
I guess if you like playing them, it's something that's worth at least trying.
So another bloody visual novel then.
Yeah, well, with there being the 3 on the compilation of...
I thought it was more than 3.
well, the 4th one's not the exact same.
Ah, right.
It was a bonus game which was more like a board game RPG type of thing.
Right. Okay.
So it wasn't like a visual novel how you've done it
So
for...
it was better.
better for gameplay recording, but not better because there's no actual story to it.
All right. Okay.
It's more like, with the 4th ones, get all the people from all the games. You just get you, so you get one to play, train them up, put them in dungeons, play RPG pretty much after that.
Fair enough.
With the characters. But back on to the 3rd one, shall we? Bit different, very enjoyable as well. I like the fact that it goes back to the school setting instead of the magical trip of the 2nd one, which it was. Just genuinely an all-round enjoyable game. The characters were quite enjoyable, I thought, and just an overall fun game. There were some characters which were quite annoying, I'll be perfectly honest. I think probably could have done with either changing their like personality or dialogue or something. But apart from that, it's pretty much
Alright.
it's you kind of know what you're getting into if you've played
Well, that's it. I mean,
any of the other ones.
It's hard to talk about two of these games in the same video
Yeah.
because they're basically the same game.
They're the same game, just with a different story, different characters, different setting. But it's the same mechanic wise.
But you like them because you're playing them.
Yeah, I'm spending the 30 plus hours on all of them really. I think there's only one which don't have, which is the PS4 title.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to keep an eye out for it because I mean you're obviously sinking time in it, so you must like them. Right?
Yeah, and as I pointed out, there was obviously the fourth one card which I have played a bit of, but it's not one of those where it's like you sink tons upon tons of time into it. It's like you play little bits here and there, mainly because it feels a bit more like a game for phones in a way, just like
right.
as a bonus game.
You're not selling it.
Yeah, I guess. To be fair, though, the reason why they pick it up was for the full-on games, and it was always marketed on the actual thing as a bonus game for you. So it makes sense why it's more catered that way. But no, really fun game, and I would honestly recommend the series to anyone who even just shows any like interest in it. Maybe that's from watching the anime, reading the manga, or anything like that, because they are actually really good games. I mean, you can play, I think, the first two on Game Pass as well. They're on there.
And I think everyone's got that nowadays, isn't they?
Pretty much.
But that's what we played this month then.
Mhm.
Which means there's a couple of little things that I have to do before the video wraps up. At this point, will we throw on the screen the little random app thing? Well, I maybe put it about here. Does that sound about right?
Probably.
And I think the one that I'm getting's got is like a wheel on it that'll spin round. So it probably stopped spinning now. To be fair, if this is you, just let us know, and we'll find something to send to you.
Yeah.
Might be great, might be shit, but you know, buys your ticket, you takes your chance.
It's the luck of the draw, isn't it?
So that's that taken care of, and we'll end as we always do with picking a game for each other to play next month.
Yeah.
And I will show you what I've got. I've got you one that's not a massive time sink. This is you can see this is an NES cart, and it's beat 'em up. You like beat 'em ups? It's Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja. So that'll be a massive time sink for you. I think you can, if you're good enough, you can complete the whole game in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, probably obviously have to get used to it though as well.
But yeah, you don't play nearly enough retro stuff. So there you go.
Well,
Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja.
I don't anymore, mainly because with new games coming out all the time, which I want to play, I typically try and play them a bit more. But I probably should play more of that. But
I wouldn't take
still,
up all your time playing something like that.
That's the thing, because retro games aren't as long as newer games most of the time. So
the length of them's determined by how impossibly difficult they make them.
yeah, that's the only thing that made them longer. But if you don't actually have a physical game, because it's quite a new one. However, went on Game Pass recently, and one which just for you relax too. 2 Point Can't Miss.
Oh, great! Because I
Again.
love 2 Point Hospital. So
Yeah, and obviously it's a game which I knew you were going to play, but obviously with just a bit of an incentive to play it, obviously just going on Game Pass and everything. So
yeah,
kind of perfect time to play, isn't it?
definitely I'll do that. Although that could end up being a bit of a time sink.
Well, it depends. But it's one of those things where you can just pick up and play it and relax, isn't it?
You can play little short bursts.
It's not like you're playing like a massive RPG time sink. It's more of a relaxing time sink. So
exactly. So that's it for this video. Obviously, if you've enjoyed what you've seen here, do all the normal stuff.
yeah, like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you can know about them when we upload. And we'll see you in the next video.